There's nothing like a bit of internet troubles, is there? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TTL F1 League 2. We are here for Friday night around Britain for round 3 of the championship at the Silverstone Circuit. Good evening, everyone. I'm James Head. Going to be taking you through the action, as always. Joining me in the commentary box, as always, a very familiar face to yourselves in the commentary box. It is Paco Suarez. Paco, how you doing?
Well, doing fine, you know. Probably today we're gonna see a good race, and I think it's a good source of entertainment for isolation period. So it's gonna be fun to actually see these drivers going out on track.
Well, if you've got your motorsporting fix, then you are in the right place, because I'll tell you what, last night in TTL F1 we had a tremendous race last night, and last week in fact it was Spain, your home race, and it was Storm who took the championship lead then, winning in Spain, Mashiro second, Daniil being in third position. So far this season, pole positions have gone to Pariah and Daniil, but the winners of the races have been different. Key and Storm have been the winners of the races. The stick-em-up driver of the day was TTG Mashiro last time out. Well deserved, I think, last time out. And to run you through the standings, as we are getting straight into the short qualifying session, Storm on 43 points leading the championship. From Key in second on 35, Mashiro in third on 29. Hades in fourth on 20, Pariah in fifth on 19, Daniil in 6th on 15, with Axnes in 7th on 14, Lord Hulton in 8th on 8, with Charlie in 9th on 6, and Atlas Copo in 10th on 6 as well. Billy in 11th on 4 points, Jeffrey in 12th on 3, with Mays and Chumi tying up for 13th on 1 point. Passelt, Conti, Maximus, Tom, Pax Viking and Storm, YWR Storm, haven't scored any points yet. And for the constructors, McLaren leading the way on 64 points, Racing Point in second on 49, Toro Rosso in third on 39, with Alfa Romeo in fourth on 20, Ferrari in fifth on 16, Williams in sixth on 8, Haas in seventh on 4, Red Bull in eighth on 3, and Renault in ninth on 1. Mercedes not getting any points just yet. And looking at those driver standings in particular, last week throughout, quite a shocking result, I think. Storm winning, Mashiro being second, and then Daniil finishing in third. Are you expecting more of the same here tonight, Paco?
I mean, probably, for sure. I mean, I think that the one thing that we have to take into account is that definitely wins are being decided by not having penalties. Storm won last week. And we were surprised because he was actually second, if I'm not wrong. But he didn't have penalties. He was pretty consistent, and he took the win. And I think that here in Silverstone, I think we're gonna see more of the same thing. So we should expect an exciting race.
I think it should be a terrific race, of course, and with this being my home track at Silverstone, even though I live about a 6 hours stone throw away from the track itself, me being up in the north of England, of course, and Silverstone being down near Tolster, near down in Northamptonshire, we do cross two counties on this track. A former airfield, of course, Silverstone, was turned into from World War II, from an airfield into a racing circuit, and this was where the first Grand Prix ever was held in 1950. Supposed to be the 70-year anniversary, of course, in Formula 1. Billy just leaving the session there, might be down to connection. We have got first drivers out on track, though. Key going on a set of hards early. To be honest, I'm not surprised.
No, definitely not, because taking into account that the strategy here is you could do actually soft to hards, but the most common strategy is soft to mediums. So generally most of the drivers now will probably do a bunker lap or do a sort of a test lap on hards to see how they go, and then they'll go on the softest or softer tire.
I think it is good, obviously. We streamed the practice session last night as well, and it was good to see everyone getting involved in the practice session and really just eyeing up where to test the limits, and especially if you watch on board with Key down towards Stowe. If you run wide at Stowe, even go off the AstroTurf on the left hand side, you are tending to pick up a bit of an invalidation out on track. So hopefully nobody will do it then. Key was perfect through there that time around, and we are about to see him start off on a lap the McLaren man here at his home track, currently third in the championship coming into tonight, and he should be looking for a good result. Sorry, second in the championship, Machine being in third, of course, his teammate Key through turn 1, then through Abbey, and then through Farmer turn 2, then into the village section at turn 3 before coming into the loop, 90-degree hairpin at turn 4, taking the wider out line into the corner, and then through entry into turn 5, and this will be the lead onto the Wellington Straight, where the international track and the Grand Prix track intersect with each other out on track. Key coming across the Sector 1 split, 27.1 as he comes through Brooklands, just attacking the inside sleeping policeman a little bit too much, forcing the car out wide, and again through Luffield, trying to prioritise the run, but now through down what was the final corner back in the day, pre-2010 era. Key now running down towards the old turn 1 Acroft, passing the old pit straight down the right hand side, really flinging that into the corner. Goodness me, that was commitment and a half there from Key. Jesus, Tokyo drifting and everything through there. Maggots and Beckett up next for him, and he's about to come onto the hanger straight. Key looking good on this time, not going to be lightning quick to begin off with, but a 104.8 through the middle sector is not too bad as he runs down the hanger straight. Can reach an excess of 200 mile an hour down towards the braking zone, just squeezing in above 200 there as Key now goes through Stowe and he comes towards Vale. This is Vale, and then into the club section, which will be turn 16 and 17, and then through the final corner at turn 18, and this will be a lap of the Silverstone circuit. Key across the line. What's his lap time? 29.1 on a set of hards is not too bad.
No, definitely it's not, and we can see, yes, straight after Kiki went first, Piraya sets a 1:27.3 with the softs. That it's actually a decent time, but I have to say I'm pretty surprised by the lap done by Kiki with hards. I didn't expect that at all.
Axnes going 300 quicker there, just coming in the Alfa Romeo. Lord Hulton just jumping up to 4th as well. And yeah, you were right with saying about Pariah actually out on track. 27.3 his lap time. Just to bear that in mind, we should be seeing slower lap times than what we did last night. And the fastest time was set by RRT Thomas last night, and that was, it was either Rafa or RRT Thomas, and it was a 25.8. The fastest lap in the qualifying session. Are we going to see the same again? Well, we're creeping up towards the 26s as Hades has just gone quicker there. One board with Maximus currently out on track on a set of hard compound of tyre. When Mays gets out the pits, by the way, I am going to go on board with him because we want to try and test out his name tag coming across on the bottom. Thing probably just to see that it comes up, and I haven't been coming on board with him in the last couple of weeks, but I'll make Mays that promise that he will be followed on the stream. Maximus just coming through Sector 1 there, not looking too bad. Anybody catching your eye currently, Paco?
Can you repeat?
Anybody catching your eye currently? A storm is actually coming around the final couple of corners.
Well, definitely. I mean, right now, Storm seems on a pretty decent lap. Actually, I was watching before you said anything, and probably let's see what he's gonna say. 1:28.1. That's a pretty decent time on mediums, I have to say. Still, he can improve a little bit more. Probably he'll go on another attempt with those tires. I don't know, but right now, who has surprised me the most, I have to say, it's Kiki. I mean, though. That lap on the hards was pretty good, and if he's able to do the same with the softs, we might have a serious contender for pole today.
I think we will have a serious contender for pole today, and to be honest, I think this grid is quite wide open, and with it being here, of course, at Silverstone, it normally tends to be that the qualifying out on track is quite close. And that's always been the case. I think every league I've covered, the qualifying is always within a couple of tenths. And I mean, the top three currently, separated by a tenth and a half, as I've just got a delivery of a drink, which is much appreciated by my parents that have just came into my room and delivered that for me. Hades, Axtes and Pariah, though, top three, looking to me as if they've got the pace early.
Yeah, I mean, the lap is not as good as it could be, really, but definitely they could be up there. I mean, their laps are not bad. They've gone pretty early to do their laps, but they still have 11 minutes remaining. Probably they still have a lot to improve, and let's hope they can still be up there at the end of qualifying.
I believe Key has just gone quicker, actually. 28.3 on a set of hard compound of tyres. That, bear in mind, is 2 tenths off on what Storm did on a set of mediums, and I think he just came across to start another lap out on track. Jeffrey, I think, poking up there into 9th position as he comes across the line to start another lap. He came 29 flat there from Jeffrey. Looking currently, though, out on track, it's Hades, Axnes, Pariah, the top 3. 2 Toro Rossos, by the way, in the top 3 of the standings so far. Mashivo, by the way, going quicker, 28.6. Just catching him crossing the line there. The McLaren man up into 9th position out on track. Maximus coming around the final couple of corners. Mercedes man looking again like a good lap here on a set of hard compounded tyres and jumps in behind Mashivo. 7. Maximus, of course, waiting for his first point of the season. Mercedes waiting for their first point of the season as well. YWR Storm, I think, has joined the session as well, which is very good to see. How do you rate up Maximus's chances tonight? 28.7 on a set of hard is not too bad of a lap.
No, definitely it's not, and I don't know if I've said this before or if I've mentioned this, but I have lots of respect for Maximus. I think he is a really good driver, you know, but he hadn't had the luck, I think, at the start of the season, so probably today it's a good chance to try and bright, you know, and have a good quality. 1:28.7 is not a bad time. He's actually pretty close from a 0 that generally seems the man to beat, but probably I think we should keep an eye also on Kiki, because generally he doesn't have that quality pace, and today it seems he can be the man to take pole.
I think he could be the man to take pole, I've got to agree, and to be honest, looking at the times out on track, the top 3 have been set in to be approached the halfway stage, of course, in this qualifying session. 18 minutes, of course, 9 minutes just gone through. On board with Maximus, who I think is on a down lap here. Mashivo is back into the pits as well. I'm just trying to pick up on somebody that might be on some sort of lap.
Tom has invalidated.
Let's go on board with Maze, actually, because he's just got out on track, and I promised that I would give him a bit of airtime out on track, so we will ride on board with Maze. He's on a set of soft compounded tyres, and the Renault man currently out on, currently this season, has scored a couple of points, and just getting it up now while I try and pick that up. He's only scored the 1 point this season. He's tied for 13th with Shumi. Surely with Shumi not attending here tonight, Maze should go up the order.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he has a good chance to try and at some point, and we'll have to see, because he's not having a good start. I mean, he could probably be a bit up there. I mean, not up there, but having regularly points. And sorry to interrupt you, but we are watching just Agnes finishing his lap. He's on the last couple of corners, and it seems he's gonna improve his time, and he does a 1:27.1. Pretty good time from the Alfa Romeo.
Pariah behind him as well. Oh, just about going second. Goodness me, Pariah. Look at how close the top 3 is. 600ths of a second separating. Even less than that. Brilliant.
Yeah, and wait for it, because right now Hades is also on a lap. He is going through Maggots and Beckett's. And now he's gonna finish the second sector. And
4 tenths
he's
down.
not improving.
I think he'll be back into the pits, to be honest. Billy is retired from the session. I think that was in the pit lane he retired that, yeah.
Really weird, because he set the time on the hards, I think, 1:29.6, and there was still 7 minutes, so pretty weird.
He has been having a couple of disconnections, actually, from the session. I've been seeing it on the bottom that he has been having a couple of disconnections. Best thing to do, Billy, if you are listening in, turn off any devices that you might have. Don't turn off your PS4, of course, because that'll just be one of the most foolish things to do, to be honest, as I can hear my co-commentator coughing in the background there. We're all going under a bit of the... Don't be daft. Don't be daft. Don't pull that one on me. Just run on board with Conti, actually. He's just came off a lap. 27.8. 1,000th quicker than Daniil. Conti yet to score points. How do you rate his chances tonight?
I don't really know. He seems a bit off the pace, but sometimes he's able to pull up a lap that no one expects. So let's hope he can still pull out that gap, that lap, and surprise us. But I don't think he will do that well that he has used to over the last couple of weeks.
Just having a look
he's not on a serious lap.
Yeah, just having a look there, Mays just coming off on a lap. 28.4 on a set of soft compound tyres. I think for relative to his pace, that was a very good lap there from Mays, and he is ahead of Atlas Coppo by about 300ths of a second. So we start to approach the nitty-gritty section out on track, where we have the qualifying session becoming towards the end. Key has just started on a lap, and I'm going to commentate you guys through this, because he's on a set of mediums now. 28.3 on a set of hards. In theory, if you think about it, he should improve by about 8 or 9 tenths this lap, if it all goes to plan, of course. And looking at the theory, it'll be a 28.5, I think, it'll be Key's lap here. And we saw this last night as well in TTL F1. He's already 2.5 tenths up, 2 3/4 tenths, in fact, up in the first sector through Brooklands. Now through Lufford again, another driver taking the deeper line into the corner, but trying to prioritise and maximise that run out. As Maximus, of course, is also out on track. That's a terrible pun there. Key running down towards Cox. Looking good, a little bit flat off the throttle. He did attack there with a little bit more vigour and zest on his hard lap, but he's looking quicker currently. Maggots and Beckett. Storm has just gone quicker with a 27 flat, so not a bad lap there by Storm at all. Key through the middle sector, 5.5 tenths up nearly from Key as he comes down towards Stowe. If he improves another 3 tenths, my prediction of a 27.5 is going to come true. Mashiro going quicker. His teammate, 27.7, has just gone 5th on a set of mediums, and he's only 7 tenths off the pace there as well. Key now around the final corner. I think this is going to be quicker than his teammate. He comes across the line. Ooh, 27.4. Do you know what? I'll take that as a good prediction there. 27.4. I said 8 or 9 tenths, so there you go.
It's close, but it's not what you said, and you know that. He said 27.4, but still, that's... I think today we're seeing Key faster than Mashiro. I don't think Mashiro has the pace today.
But Storm is outpacing both of them. That's what we've got to bear in mind. Storm is outpacing both of them currently out on track. Daniil, I think, has just started on a lap, or has he just improved, I think? I think he's just improved, actually, Daniil. He's on a down lap, I think, at the moment. He's improved by 6,000ths of a second, 27.8 for him out on track. Maximus is on a lap, and so is Vax Viking. I'm not sure who we should go on board with. I think let's go on board with Maximus. I think he is one of the only drivers that is actually on a lap. He's 3 tenths up within the first sector on a set of medium compounded tyres. 28.7, his personal best currently. I would expect him to go around Daniil, Conti, Lord Hulton sort of area. 27.7, 28.7, 27.8, 27.9, I'm thinking.
On the lap he did on hards, he was pretty close to Mashiro, and he has improved a lot on that first sector, so I think we might see him up there with Mashiro, if not better. So let's see what he does in the second sector. He's just finishing it, and I think it's gonna be more than an improvement for him. As we can see, almost 5 tenths down, as he would now do a 128.2, but there's still the third sector to go.
Running pretty low on ERS as well, actually, Maximus on this lap. The Mercedes man, of course, looking for Mercedes' first points out on track. This is looking around the Daniil Conti sort of area, but he's got to try and find the groove through the final corners, and that is not going to really help him. Bit of opposite lock through there, hitting the curb at 28.3. To be honest, that middle sector, through Beckett, he corrected himself through the second part of Beckett, made a bit of a mistake there, and then made the mistake through the final corners. If he gets that together, if he gets his act together, which he won't, because obviously that's him done in qualifying.
Well,
so Maximus will be starting 10th.
Maybe not. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's out of field. He will probably be saving ERS. He still have time to cross the line one more time. Might we see another lap from Maximus on those mediums?
We could do. I think it'd be the best opportunity for him. If he's got a high fuel load especially, I think the mediums could work, and certainly he will burn the fuel off through the lap. Just right on board with Charlie, by the way, who delivered a good performance, I think, in the first round of the season in Bahrain. He's been doing quite well this season so far, and I'm just going to have a look at his points total. The Racing Point man on a 34.1 hasn't set any sort of lap time in this qualifying session that is of note. And Charlie in 9th on 6 points. He's only scored the 6 points, but he's ahead of drivers like Atlas Coppo, like Billy, like Jeffrey, who are very quick. And I think Charlie on this lap has looked quite good so far. Through Maggots and Beckett, just right onto the hanger straight now. It's on a set of soft compounded tyres. It's a 103.5 through the middle sector. Probably one of the fastest middle sectors I've seen so far tonight. Charlie coming round the final couple of corners then. Through Stoll, taking a wide out line, deep into the apex. Very nice indeed through there. And now Charlie coming around the final corner. It's about 10 seconds from that little undercut. I think he's going to go in between Key and Mashiro with this. We watch from Charlie coming around the final corner, across the line. You may as well call me Mystic James.
Well, I didn't know you were actually Hamilton's engineer. Well, Bottas engineer. Well, every day I discover something new, and we can see now Pyraya finishing the second sector. I think he's improving. Yeah, definitely he is 1/10, and that would put him, well, not first, but in front of Axnes.
It will put him ahead of Axnes, and to be honest, he's only got to find 400th of a second, then he's ahead of Storm. This is going to be a 26.9. I guarantee you this now, this will be a 26.9. He really fires it through the final couple of corners. Pariah across the line, 26.8.
Once again, you failed.
I failed by a 10th out. A 10th out.
Yeah.
Storm, by the way, 200th up through the first sector. We'll come on to him in just a second. Hades is going through behind him. I'm just trying to pick up on somebody that's closer to the line. Atlas Copo coming round across the line now. The Alfa Romeo man. Not going to improve that much, and in fact, he doesn't at all. So 500th down on his time. Jeffrey is flying through the middle sector, but what we're going to do is right on board with the Racing Point man out on track. Storm is 500th. Yeah, 500th down through the middle sector, but you never know. You can see plenty of drivers make up the time in the final sector in this qualifying session, and in fact, Storm will not be doing that because he's into the pits. Hades, how's he looking through the middle sector?
I think he's doing pretty solid. No, I think he didn't improve, but let's see how he ends his lap.
I don't think he's going to improve on this.
Oof, maybe not. I don't know. He's
about a 10th,
going
maybe.
through the final corner. Let's see, 127.2. He doesn't improve. And
that's it. Tom just coming across the line to go ahead of Billy. So Tom getting ahead of his teammate there on a set of soft compound tyres. The Welshman ahead of the Brit out on track. But it is Pariah, who's leading currently a 3-car train out on track, of AI, I may add. Pariah, 26.8, the only driver to get into the 26s tonight. And that sets him up well, I think, for tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he could have a clear advantage on the race. You know, it seems like he's a bit ahead of the rest of the drivers, but do not forget about the McLarens. I mean, they've chosen an alternative strategy. They're both on mediums. I think today we could see a really good race, and not only because I'm commentating on it, because both McLarens, I think they're going to give a good show tonight.
Codmaster's giving me XP there for absolutely nothing. Pariah, I'm afraid I don't think you got any, I don't think, so that's a shame. Oh, did you?
I feel jealous. Totally jealous.
Pariah taking qualifying then, taking pole position from Storm in second, Axnes third, Hades fourth, Maze, Key, Charlie, Conti, Mashiro, Daniil running off the top 10, Lord Holton, Jeffrey, Maximus, Atlas, Cooper, Passels, Vax Viking, Tom, and Billy. Yes, I said that pretty much in one breath. They all start, and all of them actually setting a lap time, which it was quite uncommon, I think, last night in TTL. I think we only had 1 or 2 drivers not setting any times within the qualifying session, and that was purely because they kept invalidating. So well done to everyone for getting at least 1 lap in. And I know in Billy's case, he would have liked to probably do a little bit better. This is strange to me. More blue skies and a bit of cloud. We never have this in Silverstone, and we certainly never have this in Britain at all. YWR Storm, by the way, has joined, so we're up to 19 drivers for tonight. And 25 seconds to go until we go into the formation lap. I'm going to have a look at the comment section, see how you guys are doing. This is my first opportunity, of course, to have a look at the comment section and see what you guys have been saying. Key saying he didn't have time to go on the softs, which was a shame, because I would have liked to see him maybe go quicker than Storm. In theory, I think he could have done that. There was a poem that came in. I'm not going to... You can have a look in the comment section yourself, guys, but there was a poem further up by Jay Bogan, I think his name is, part of the TNR team, Have a look at that yourself. Oliver Smalley just coming in. I know him from another league, Superhero, of course. Good evening to you just tuning in. You came in the right time because we've just started the formation lap and 26 laps await the drivers out on track tonight. Looking at the top 10 drivers, Key and Mashiro obviously going alternate strategies on a set of medium compound of tyres. How will that bear in mind towards the end of the race? I would think they'd pit in around lap 14.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here the difference between soft and mediums in the lap you enter to the pits, there's not a big difference. So it's gonna be actually interesting to see what they do, because here the gap between those two tires, it's pretty small. But they've gone for it. They want to do something different, and definitely they will try till the last lap.
I'm glad nobody has gone on the hards, by the way. Just looking down the rest of the strategies, I'm so glad nobody has gone on to a set of hard compound of tyres, because they are the worst tyres you could possibly ever drive on around any track. I remember, me and Kieran were having this discussion in practice last night, and we were saying about the Blue Wall hard compound of tyre back in the day. I think it was on F1 2016 or 17. And
no, actually it was also in F1 2018, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yep,
I think this was the only track for the hards to actually be on.
Yeah.
It was quite strange, and no wonder people hated going on a set of hard compound of tyres around there. But judging, what are we going to see? Looking down at the further strategies, Lord Hulton, Jeffrey, Maximus, Atlas Corporal, Pascal's Vax Viking, Tom, all on a set of mediums. Billy and Storm, YWR Storm, on a set of soft compound of tyres. Look, that's a bit of a tricky call. They're going to have to try and make ground quick through the field.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for the strategy to work, they will have to overtake quickly. And just before we start, you could see this mouse away. But I want to see your prediction. I mean, I will do mine if you want, but let's do our prediction just before this kicks on. My
prediction, Storm for the win, Hades for second, Key for third.
I put Kiki on first. I think Storm is going to be second and Mashiro is going to be third.
Very interesting. Mashiro down in ninth as well, remember. He could make a lot of ground early on, and we've been seeing that, of course, in Spain, where he came back from a little bit of an incident, I think, on lap 1. However, I'm going to shut up for a minute because the 5 red lights are about to go out, and we are getting prepared here for round 3 of the championship here in TTL F1. It is 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Pariah gets a very good start. Storm as well. YWR Storm jumping up in position. And there's already been a spinner off the start. Conti, that is off the start, having a tremendously bad start. Charlie has been caught up with Jeffrey, I think, involved in that. Lord Holton might have been caught up in a little bit of contact as well. Everyone, Key's up to 4th. Oh, he's spun on the inside of the curb. I think Hades might have just turned slightly across him there, but Key down to 6th, but he has got a good start nonetheless. Running down towards Brooklands for the first time, it is Pariah who leads, Storm in second, Axnes in third, and pretty much the top 3, I think, have remained unchanged. If I get up the position changes early on, yeah, the top 6, in fact, have remained unchanged, like last night in TTL F1. Conti has had a horrible start, dropping 9 positions, pretty much having wheel spin off the start. Never a good thing to do. Storm right on the back of Pariah. Look at this as he's come through Cops and now towards Maggots and Beckett for the first time. He right on board then with TTG Storm, and I think there's a spinner in the back when there is. Lord Hulton has lost it through Cops, so Lord Hulton has lost it through Cops. Key and Daniil are fighting side by side through Maggots and Beckett. I'm seeing that on the mini map. We're focusing though on board with the leaders, and we'll cut to that just in the background. Actually, as Key has got around the outside. I think actually he might have had a little bit of coming together with Lord Hulton, which is why he's dropped down 2 positions. As Billy is down the inside of Daniil, he's came from absolutely nowhere early on, and Tom is up to 7th. How on earth is Tom up to 7th from early on in the race? Billy down the inside, Maximus trying to go around the outside here. Goodness me, what a hectic start that is, as Pariah leads the way from Storm in second, Axnes third, Hades in 4th, Mates in 5th, Pascal's in 6th, and Key's got around the outside on Tom. Had a bit of a poor run out of club, and now he's through, and he's up to 7th position as Key, so he's beginning to make ground through the field. Daniil, Billy trying to get past. Not trying to rush his moves, I hope. Billy down the inside, though. He's on a fresh set of softs. Daniil on the worn set of softs, and it's going to be side by side out of entry. And Billy has got the move done. That is a tremendous move down the inside from Billy. He gets the move done, and now Maximus has burned the Isle of Needle as well. He has gone through on Daniil. Billy goes wide. And he rejoins just in front of Maximus, but Maximus is going to say, thank you very much for this. Oh, Billy just cutting him off there slightly. Oh, and Mashiro down to 13th, so obviously he's had a little bit of contact early on as well. Daniil and Maximus going side by side down towards Cops. Oh, and they make contact. Daniil trying to launch it down the inside. Definitely not going to work there. Oh my God, what a hectic start. Take the mic off us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree. You've just said it, and we can see all Tom has spun. Yeah, he's rounding, he's off the circuit.
Same as Palfrey.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was just about to say that Tom, the key for Tom to make so much positions is that he just kept it clean and he just spun. It's a pity. And once again, Mashiro having the worst luck possible. 3 rounds in which in the start he has lost places. And right in front, yeah, Pyraya made a really good start, you know, defending the lead, and now Storm will try. Well, we know that he's not the driver that will take more risk, you know, but probably he'll just stay behind until he sees the need to overtake the Toro Rosso.
Mays, I'll tell you what, I didn't realise he qualified 5th in qualifying, but Mays in 5th early has not lost any positions, which is fantastic to see. He could be on the back of these in no time, because I think the top 4 are going to begin battling hard. Yellow flag in Sector 1, Tom, just coming out of the pits there, has had a bit of a spin around. I'm not sure, actually. He's out of the pits relatively soon there, for my liking. Did he have a drive-through, I wonder? I'll try and check that in a minute. Key is right on the back of Passels, though. Passels up 9 positions early. Key down 1. And unfortunately for Key, he's had probably one of the worst luck stories so far. As back to Viking has gone through, and YWR Storm places the car pretty much in front of him there. As YWR Storm is now going to lose out the position, shooting to Charlie. Charlie actually rightfully backs up, I think. But further down the field, Key right on the back of Passel. Here we go, the McLaren on the back of the Renault. And that is a very easy move as Key's got the move done. Billy on the back as well. Not closing up, but Key's up to 6th. Good move. And Mashiro has gone through Atlas Coppo.
And look at the exit, because now the Haas is gonna try to overtake the Renault, and he dives into the inside, and he's gonna make it. Yeah, really good move from Billy. I have to say that Puzzles didn't have the best run on those corners, and that helped massively both drivers to overtake him. But now Puzzles have to try and remain in the points. That's his objective.
Billy looking very, very touchy there through Farm and Abbey. Through Abbey and Farm, I should say, through turns 1 and 2. And I just noticed actually in the back of Passels' car, his left rear was blistering. Storm is down the inside of Pariah for the lead of the race, but Mr. Cautious himself is not going to go for the move as per usual, and Storm will hold back, I think. But this should let Axnes and Hades into play.
Yeah, and once again, Puzzles. Tom is out of the race, and Puzzles has had a really bad exit again, and now Maximus is all over him, and this could help Mashiro to try and catch Maximus. But I think Puzzles is just not having the pace with those mediums.
Yeah, Daniil got through on Atlas Coppo, I think, down towards Brooklyn. Saw that on the mini-map. He got through and he's up into 11th position. I recognise that I am missing quite a lot out on track. You can probably appreciate why. There's been a lot of action happening so far in this race, as we're only about to start lap 5. Maximus is getting the move done on Passels. Very easy move indeed, that. And the Mercedes up into 8th position. And to be honest, we said in qualifying that the Mercedes could score their first points of the season. Looking good for Maximus so far. He's just got to keep it within the limits.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he didn't have the best start. I think he was pretty cautious, because looking at his last races, he knew that he couldn't risk it more, and he just took it cautiously, and now he's 8th, trying to gain some positions back.
Storm trying to get onto the back of Pariah. Not close enough this time around for the man. Racing point right on the back of the Toro Rosso. We lead down towards Brooklands. Somebody's fire alarm going off in the background there. Oh no, it's the phone. Pick it up before it rings out. Storm right on the back of Pariah, though, as we come through Luffield and through Woodcut. Goodness me. Well, I don't know, but we don't often get a call in the commentary box here. I wonder if that's Jack Nichols trying to commentate, I wonder. Storm, Right on the back of Pariah. 2.5 tenths separating out on track, and Axnes and Hades are chasing in behind. Maze has just lost a little bit of ground actually to the front 4. Key is on the back in 6th, Billy in 7th, Maximus and 8th, Passels in 9th, Mashiro looking on the back of Passels as he comes through Maggots and Beckett. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and I think that is Jeffrey that has gone off. It is Jeffrey that is round. Mashiro though on the back of Passels for position. This is for 9th and 10th. They're both running in a bit of a DRS train here, and they're not going to be close enough. So Mashiro not going to get the move done out on track. Storm right on the back of Pariah. We go on to lap 6 here in Silverstone. Pariah leading. This is going to give his championship hopes though a big boost because he's leading ahead of the championship leader in 2nd. Axnes in 3rd and Hades in 4th. All things said and done, I think the Toro Rossos have started very well here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. They are doing a really good job. I think they have to take the chance watching that Kiki is not in front, you know, seeing that Mashiro is almost out of the points, he's 10th, and the only one that is leading the championship and that is up there is Storm, so they have to take the chance, grab it and do as good as they can, and we can see Mashiro
down the inside. Oh, Passels defended the position well. He positioned his car to absolute perfection. I think Mashiro was just a little bit late, and we've got way too optimistic. I think Storm is right on the back of Pariah. They were side by side running down towards Cops. Storm is on the back of Pariah, and Axnes and Hades are suddenly closed in. The front 2 beginning to battle, but this could let Axnes and Hades into play. And coming through onto the hangar straight now, Pariah should have the gap, and everyone I think should remain in position and run in formation as they run down towards Stowe for the 6th time out on track. Maze, by the way, coming under a little bit of pressure from Key. He's just beginning to get dropped by the front 4 out on track, but Maze ultimately having his best race I think I've ever seen him drive in quite a while so far.
I mean, this is a mate I know. This is a mate I was waiting for, because when I raced with him, he was the guy that was always 6th, 7th, you know, after the fastest guy. And finally, we're seeing some of that mate. You know, I hope that he can keep it like that for the next races. But it seems he's back and that he's having a really good race today.
Or Hades right on the back of Axnes, literally going for a bit of a bump draft as they come through entry corner there, through turn 5, and now on the run down towards Brooklyn to turn 6. None of the front 4 change positions. Storm not necessarily getting close enough as Axnes actually runs very wide, and Hades is going to try and thread the eye of the needle down the inside. Can the Toro Rosso man get it? He can't. Axnes holding on to the position, but Hades I think had every right to try and nick that up the inside.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Axnes had a really bad run through those 2 corners, you know, and definitely the Toro Rosso took the chance. And we can see both of them, I mean, Hades and Storm, putting the pressure on the drivers that they have in front. And this shows that they are actually not saving anything. They're trying to get the position.
Billy off in the background, just losing it on the curb through Maggot and through onto the first section of Beckett's actually. Key is about to get past Maze. I was just running on board with this battle. Key has got the move done on Maze and he's up into 5th position. A very easy move there for the McLaren man. Maze is not going to get this one up without a fight though, and he's going to try, but Key I think nearly forced him onto the grass there slightly. Maze might just feel hard done by, but I think Key was always going to keep the position and he holds on. He's up into 5th position out on track as Charlie and back to Viking are side by side further down the field. 12th and 13th for these guys. Billy, by the way, into the pits on lap 7. His tyres have really not lasted what I would have even imagined, to be honest there. So he's into the pits and he should be pitting in for a set of the hard compounded tyres. Mashiro, by the way, also came into the pits and he's on the set of hard compounded tyres as well. So he is trying to do a Bahrain strategy all over again. Try and make up as many positions as possible under the undercut.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here in Silverstone, the undercut is really powerful because the pit lane is really, really long. It's one of, I mean, it's not long, but it's really, really slow.
I think it's about...
it's one of the slowest.
It's about 32 seconds, I think, for a pit stop around here.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why it gives the one Kiki has lost it.
Through Copsoles.
He just lost the back end, yeah.
Has he got any damage? I don't think he's got any damage. That's well recovered, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he lost the back end.
Damage.
And he just locked up the tires trying to correct the car, but he just couldn't, and he just was around.
Maximus down on the inside on Maze, down towards Stowe. Mercedes man is through, and he's up into 5th position. So the Brit getting past his fellow countryman out on track, and he's up into 5th position. Maximus, I think, is really judging this race well, and he's beginning to pick them off one by one out on track. And Maze just down into 6th position. Emil, by the way, into the pit. Machiro, by the way, interestingly picked up a 5-second time penalty as well for speeding into the pit lane. So Machiro will have that to carry with, essentially a bit of a burden on his back out on track tonight. But Storm on the back of Pariah. Through entry, Storm does not look like he is close enough to try and get anywhere as close as to what he would imagine to Pariah. Is he playing a bit of a long-term game?
I mean, you just have to see the ERS. I mean, while Pariah,
wow.
I mean, both of them are saving, but they are almost fully ERS. We can see that Storm is just trying to keep up with the Toro Rosso. So don't get by surprised if Storm tries the undercut, because he would have enough ERS to actually try that undercut, and probably he's going for it on the next laps.
Well, Billy leaving the session again. I think that's another disconnect for him out on track tonight. I think that's 3 times now, within qualifying and in the race, of course. Hades on the back of Axnes looking quite close, and Hades is going to breeze this down the inside through Stowe. The Toro Rosso man around the outside of the Alfa Romeo. Bit unsighted, but Axnes gets the move done around the outside, and noticeably so, he's into the pits. But is that the right? It is the right call. I thought they were both in the same team there. I was thinking Hades is into the pits instead. Goodness me. Axnes into the pits behind Pariah. So this spices things up a little bit more. And Mays into the pits as well. He is reacting to these guys ahead pitting in. And Key right on the back of Passos as well.
Oh yeah, yes, and it's actually surprising because it's a bit early. I mean, it's not early, but probably Storm might do an overcut, and I wouldn't be surprised by him making the overcut work. And we can see behind the people going out of the pits, I think. Yeah,
people going out of the pits in bit clean air as well, which is good to see. So Pariah, Axnes are out ahead, and obviously the top 2 haven't pitted in just yet. Key, by the way, is all over the back of Passos, running down towards Brooklands. He's not going to think about around the outside of Luffield, is he? Switching back on the inside line. Could be on the inside towards Woodcote. Look at the speed he's got. Key is down the inside through Woodcote. Passos, just an absolute sitting duck right there. That is how to pull off a move through Woodcote. Key, beautiful move. He's up to 4th. Best move of the race so far.
He did a Bottas on Hamilton on 2019, you know, great move by the McLaren driver, and now he's up to 4th. I have to say that I feel really bad for Kiki, because basically I feel like on other leagues I feel like he does, and we can see behind the Toro Rosso and Storm having a battle, trying to keep the position, the driver from America. And what I was saying is that as the leaders go into the pits, that I feel bad for Kiki, because I know how he's feeling. Basically, when you know that you have to pace, you know that you have a big chance to win, and you just don't have the luck or whatever, you cannot do really anything about it, you know. And now he just have to keep his head down, you know, and try to finish the race well.
Ooh. Track extensions becoming to pick up a little bit too much on Storm of YWR Storm. His set of soft compound of tyres is not going to last soon, and I've just given him pretty much a bit of a slap there because he just picked up a 3-second time penalty, as Storm has just came out behind Pariah out of the pits, but just about out ahead. So Storm right on the back of Pariah. That has left, actually, Axnes in a little bit of no man's land, to be honest. He's still 1.2 seconds off and getting the move done through on YWR Storm. Storm, in the meantime, TTG Storm on the background, trying to get the move done. No, he's going to be cautious. He's just playing this a little bit long term.
I think he's going for it.
No way. Round the outside of Cops? I don't think so. Yeah, he backs off. He backs off. Knowing Storm, he wouldn't like to put himself in a scenario where he thinks he will be getting a little bit of contact from the other driver, and he's played that, I think, to perfection. But in the background of shot, look who was prepped up on a fresher set of the medium compound tyres. Axnes is back into the battle, and this is for net P1 out on track, let's not forget. This is for the net lead of the race. They've dropped Hades out of the pits. Three-way battle for the lead, I think. Maybe a four-way if Hades can get involved.
And I have to say that if these guys keep battling...
No, but Storm's trying to go around the outside, sorry to cut in. He's around the outside of Pariah. A little bit of a desync there between them both. And Storm has somehow got into P6. Axnes has gone through on Pariah, but that was, I'm afraid to say, a bit of a desync out on track. We saw it last night in TTL F1, and Pariah tried to sneak it up the inside of Axnes there, but Storm and Pariah just getting a little bit too close. There was a little bit of a desync there. I just caught on board with it at the right point, and there was a little bit of a desync part of that. Axnes now on the back of Storm, but what is that going to do to Pariah's chances? That is setting it back. He's lost 2 positions within a corner. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, and I think this is just gonna help Maximus, because Maximus will end the race with the softest tire, and if these guys keep fighting, although Storm is now opening the gap, Maximus could have the chance to try and sneak a podium today.
I think he could, to be honest. Yeah, looking at the interval timing, he is going to be about 11 seconds off, though. If it's a 32-second pit stop, he's about 21 seconds in front of these guys ahead. Of Storm and Axnes and Pariah and the likes, as Pariah is right on the back of Axnes and stuck in the DRS train, though. Don't think he's going to go for a move, or is he? No, he's not. Thought the wisest decision there, not to go for the move. I think he was stuck in the DRS train. They were both at around the same speed. Best thing to do, just stick it out, see where the land lies, and probably get on with the race. Maximus though leads. Storm setting the new fastest lap of the race with a 31 flat out on track. And we're halfway through. Maximus now leads, P second, Passel's third, Atlas Copo fourth, back to Viking in fifth. But remember, the top guys out on track have already pitted in. The top 5 is still yet to pit in, as Vax Viking is going to be made to look like just a normal driver, I think, out on track. Bit of a stroll for Storm down the inside. Vax Viking trying to fight this around the outside.
He does it.
Wow!
I
wrote him off down the straight. Oh, but Storm's around the outside on the field. Oh, and he gets the move done. Vax Viking getting caught up on the curb on the inside. What's this going to play into? Storm, I think, is going to be ruining his luck, because Pariah is down the inside of Vax Viking. But what this has done, Storm has got the move done on Vax Viking. He made the mistake. He forced the driver into the mistake. Vax Viking now is in the way of Pariah and Axnes. And Hades. Oh, Pariah's lost it. Pariah's out of the race. He's lost it through Beckett, that is. That is unfortunate for Pariah. And unfortunately for him, that was caught on stream as well.
And he touched the curb and he just lost it. Just when I saw him going over the curb, I just knew he was going into the wall. What a pity, because it seems like he was the rival to beat Storm, you know, and yeah, he just bottled it, we could say.
It is unfortunate.
Oh, look at Daniel.
Oh, Daniel?
Going into the inside. Yes. Oh, good move from the Ferrari driver. Main just losing another position today. He's now down to 11.
Losing another position, but Vax Viking has just came into the pits, and Mace is going to be well out ahead of Vax Viking in comparison. He's going to now be in the points. YWR Storm has left the session, I think, due to a disconnect. OWR Daniil has picked up a 3-second time penalty there through Abbey at turn 1. It's just really, the Pariah's spin has just taken the life and soul out of the race, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and right now, I have to keep mentioning that this could actually give a chance to Kiki and Maximus to try and catch. I mean, Maximus, I think he's a bit off, but let's keep an eye on Maximus, because I think he would just be between Jeffrey and Daniel, but maybe with that soft pace, he could actually try and finish maybe 4th or 3rd. Like right now, I think it's gonna be a close ending, and right now Storm cannot be safe, because we can see that the Alfa Romeo from Axnes, despite having less ERS and not having ERS management, basically, he is still keeping up with Storm, and Storm is not being able to pull a gap.
Key coming into the pits, then out on track. So Key into the pits. One of the first ones, ball back to Viking to come into the pits from a set of medium compound tyres. Atlas Copper, by the way, is under pressure from Storm. That is for position of P3.
Alfa Romeo teamwork.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo sandwich, I think we can call it, out on track. And Storm has got to be careful here, because you know what team tactics are like. Atlas Copper will do all the best. Axel is actually trying to have a bit of a go there at Storm. That has actually compromised his run completely, and Storm should possibly get past. But did he open his DRS late there? Because Atlas Copper just pulled away down the straight.
He didn't put ERS on overtake, he had it on none, so that might be a factor.
Axnes then on the back, and Hada is on the back as well, so
yeah.
OWR, YWR beginning to dominate alongside TTG Storm out on track. Daniil is in a net P4 out on track. Maze is in a net P5, but Key has just came up behind them and he's on a set of soft compound tyres. Highly doubt they're going to get to the end. Oh, Storm's round! Axnes and Storm!
Just hit it. Yeah, hit him. That was
I caught that from Hades' point of view, to be honest, and it looked like Axnes had got the front two wheels of his car up the inside on Storm, and he's round again, I think, through sector 2. He's just trying to rejoin track in again. Reyes has been taken apart, and Hades has gone into the back of Axnes nearly. Oh my goodness me. It's all beginning to kick off. Axnes and Hades out on track. The stewards are going to be phenomenally busy out on track. Key, by the way, got through on Maze for position, and now he's on the back of Daniil, which is now for a net P3.
Oh, yeah, and Maximus and Jeffrey fighting on the exit of the pits now, I think.
Got ahead.
Yeah, he has beat it. Yeah, really, well, not really ahead, but just a second, I would say, ahead. And right now we have to keep an eye on the battle for first, because this has changed completely. I mean, Kiki now will have to try and make a comeback. You know, Storm is out of the points. He has no chance of getting into the points, I think. And now the lead of the championship is totally open. Now we have different drivers trying to have a chance and try to...
Good move by Key down the inside of Brooklands. Just pushed Daniil out off on the racing line. That was a lock-up from Key. Purely just a bit of banging wheels. Nothing more, nothing less. Key is through and he's up to 7th. And yeah, you're saying this race has now turned wide open. The championship is wide open as well. And Key getting that move done, he is now into a net P4 out on track. So Key, remember, is on a net P4. He's got to try and pull away from Daniil now rather than later, because it's going to really hamper his chances, to be honest. Storm, by the way, out on a set of soft compound of tyres. He's got ahead of YWR Storm. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that both of the guys behind him are AI cars. They are. And Hades has picked up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, we can see now the guys that did the pit already, they've gone into the pits. So now Axnes is on physical lead. He's first on track. And Maximus is now on the podium and Kiki just behind him. So both of them, I think they will try and they will catch Hades and Axnes, because for sure they will fight. And that will give at least Maximus the opportunity to try and catch both of them.
Somebody that I think has predicted this race quite well, to be honest. He's having a great comeback here. Mashiro's in 7th.
Yeah, definitely.
Just I feel like that. He's on a set of halves as well.
Yeah, I mean, once again, he's shown that he has the racecraft. But as I said at the beginning, when he was involved on those incidents, you know, on lap 1, he hadn't had the lag, you know, and that's crucial, because you can be fast, but if you keep making mistakes and being taken out or whatever, you're just not gonna be up there, you know. You need to be consistent, and that's probably what Mashiro is lacking right now. He's
catching Maze, 0.8 of a second. He is really gaining on Maze. Mediums will begin to fly. Oh, 3-second time penalty. I think that's his 3rd of the night, if I'm not mistaken. Out on the track. But Mashiro right on the back of Maze. He is hunting him down. The hunter has now become the hunted. Mashivo right on the back of Maze, trying to go down the inside in towards Stoll. He realises right at the last minute not to go for the move. My God, that was inches apart from contact. And Mashiro has to just be careful, but he is actually catching Daniil ahead as well. So P5 is looking increasingly likely, and do you know what? The hards will go to the end. Those softs of Maximus and Key will begin to go off. Mashiro could be in with an outside chance of a top 3, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and one thing that we have to keep in mind is that probably Mashiro will have to try and pull out a gap of 11 seconds to May, but probably he will have the position to Daniel, as Daniel has 8 seconds and he is on his last warning.
Mashiro not getting close enough to the back of Maze there, down towards Brooklands. Storm setting the new fastest lap of the race, 29.7. He's in 14th position, and that is what contact around here really does out on track. Again, I think it was either one or two things. Access just sticking it up the inside, realising his car was not there. Storm just came across, and it's a pure racing incident. Or, again, there might have been a little bit of desing. That's the only two things I could attribute to that incident. But of course, the stewards will have a look.
I was just on board with Axnes, and I could see the Storm just brake a little bit earlier, you know, on that corner.
Here comes Mashiro, somebody cut in. Mashiro down the inside of Stowe, down the inside of Maze at Stowe. Gets the move done very easily
but
indeed.
Look, the traction. He might try that into the inside. No, wrong
Ooh,
the outside.
on the outside?
No,
not quite.
Oh, but Mashiro doesn't have a good
exit.
Move. Nah, but he's ahead. Good move from Mashiro.
Yeah, very good move. Maze, though, is putting up a very good fight. I cannot believe he is in 7th position out on track. I think he's driven such a really astute race. Out on track as Hades is on the back of Axnes for the lead of the race. This has came from absolutely nothing out on track. Hades on the back of Axnes. Alfa Romeo against Toro Rosso out on track. One driver out for Toro Rosso already. Pariah, of course, having that DNF through, I think it was through Beckett's, wasn't it, where he had his DNF out on track. Hades cutting the inside. He doesn't want to afford to do that. He just completely messed up the angle of the corner and got it wrong. Top 2 could begin to battle. Maximus 7 seconds off. The life in the tyres will begin to go in the next 2 or 3 laps. So I don't think he's going to get really that close enough to the back of Axnes, who tries to defend to the inside line, tries to break the toe. Hades now on the back of him. Toro down the inside, they make contact! They make contact! Hades and Axnes! It's just the story of tonight. Contact for the lead of the race again!
Again, yeah, definitely the driving standards ahead, you know, on the lead. I don't think they are the best, you know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they are being way too optimistic with some moves, but definitely they'll have to take a look on it because Hades almost take out Axnes from the lead, and definitely this is giving Maximus the chance to try and come back.
Tell you what, Vax Viking is beginning to get a little bit closer to Charlie. 9th and 10th. It's the closest battle now out on track. 1.2 seconds. The race has completely been, I will use the word ruined, I think, by some of the battles that were happening out on track have been completely ruined by maybe some over-aggressive driving, if I've got to be honest. But with Axnes and Hades making contact for the lead of the race, it has put Maximus within a chance of getting on Hades now. It's unreal. I'm lost for words, quite literally. And Mashiro's on for top 5 as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, Mashiro, we have to keep in mind that Mashiro has an 11-second time penalty, you know, a 5-second stop and go penalty that he had for entering in the pits, and then 6 seconds for corner cuts. So we'll have to keep an eye on that because May doesn't have any penalty. Apart from doing an exceptional race, he's been consistent, you know, and he's not having penalties. So I think he's the only one on track or around that position that doesn't have penalty, so that could be crucial at the end of the race.
Sorry, I'm just typing a message. Go on.
Yeah, don't worry. As we can see in front, that Maximus keeps catching the guys ahead. It was 7 seconds after the incident. He was 6 seconds behind the leader, and he's now 5.3. That means that he's less than 3 seconds from Hades. So maybe in a few laps, I mean, he's catching 1 second per lap, we could say so. So I have a run on Hades in 2 laps. have a run on Axnes at the end of the race? I don't know, because I don't know if those tires will get as good as they are right now at the end of the race.
Mashiro. Oh, look at the speed of Mashiro. The McLaren has just sailed past Daniil down the inside. It's almost as if he's just entered the race, Mashiro. He's got through and he's up to 5th. That's the easiest
like
move you'll see all night.
He escaped like a torpedo. I mean,
wow.
Full speed, you know.
Up to 5th. McLaren on for double points. If you told me 5 laps ago that would be the case, I would have laughed.
Nah,
I would have honestly
impossible.
laughed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's a pity because seeing what they are doing, I mean, Kiki 8 seconds, well, almost 9 from the lead, and seeing that Mashiro is, well, 16, you know, and seeing the mistake he made, they could probably be closer to the fight for the win, and it's a pity that they had those mistakes, you know, because I think today was McLaren day to actually bring a 1-2 or maybe just the 2 podiums.
To remember though that they did have early contact. Both drivers had early contact, and the race, the way the race has developed, has really paid into their favour. And I mean, Kia's 4th. I'm not ruling him out of a top 3 on penalties. Mashiro might just be out of it in penalties as well. He's in 5th though. He's now ahead of Daniil. I'm running on board with Passels, by the way, who has been, again, another driver that's just been picking them off one by one. He got past Charlie earlier on under this stint, and Mays now is under pressure from his own teammates. And I never thought I'd see the day where both Reynolds would fight out on track.
On the points. Yeah, being on the points.
Yeah.
You know, the same race. So it's actually outstanding drive from both of them. I have to say Passels has, I think, 3-second time penalty. Yeah. But still, it's decent drive, you know. They are just bringing the car home, you know.
Daniil made a bit of a mistake. Sorry to cut in. I think Daniil made a bit of a mistake there coming out of Luffield, and he's lost about 0.5 of a second to Mays.
Yeah, probably those mediums are starting to fall off. I don't know. I mean, there's still 4 laps remaining, and maybe it's too early, but it might be a little bit soon for those mediums to start to fall off.
It could be, yeah. I think the mediums lasted last night around
16 laps.
It was about 16 laps, yeah. He's going to be going 17. There we go. I'll just leave it there. He's got 17 laps on the set of mediums by the end of his stint. So, yeah, you can probably appreciate what I'm going on about. By the way, we'll check through the penalties towards the end of the race. We'll check on the final 2 laps or so. Passels on the back of Mays here. Oh, Mays just gets through turn 1. Just has a little bit of lack of steering actually going through the corner. But Mays under pressure from Passels, and Maximus right on the back of Hades as well for 7/10 of a second for 2nd place.
Yeah, I mean, they're really closing up right now. Maximus, I think he's gonna have 2nd spot. The question is, there's 4 laps left. Well, 3.5 laps left. Will he get to Axnes? Because I think he's having the pace, and he still have time to try and catch the leader. If he gets Hades on this straight after Maggots and Beckett's, he might have a chance to try and catch the Alfa Romeo.
Oh, I think Passels is trying to go for the move of the outside of Cops in towards Maggots and Beckett's there. Even I'm really getting optimistic. That corner wrong. Maximus right on the back of Hades, though, out on track. 2nd and 3rd. To be honest, I don't think he'll have the pace to catch Axnes. There'll be a point where the mediums will flip around to the softs. The delta time will come into play, and then the softs will be slower than the mediums, probably, I think, on the final lap of the race. So just bear that in mind. 3 seconds the gap, it's very unlikely. I mean, you're talking of him closing a 2nd down per lap.
He was doing so until this lap.
But he is losing time though. He's just stuck behind Hades and he's losing time. It's 3.4 seconds between 1st, 2nd and 3rd. I'll tell you what we can do though, is Maximus is not going to go for the move down through
He's going to go for the traction, I think. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, I thought it was going to nick that inside line. There was not a car's length down that inside gap. No way, Jose, as Maximus waits on the back. If we can, we'll run through the penalties.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm gonna take a look and look at Maximus because he's really close. He might take a look.
No way, is he not going to go around the outside here? And he backs off. Rightfully so. Goodness me, I think he would have been like one of those scientists dreaming up a bit of a mad magic act or something. Maximus is on the back of Hannah. This time he's going to get through. Look at the speed of the Mercedes. Down the inside. Easy as you like. He's up to second.
Yeah, and about penalties, I have to say that Hades has 3 penalties. He's on his first warnings. Maximus has 1 penalty. He's on his last warning. And meanwhile, the man in first is an absolute alien. You know, he only has 1 warning. So, impossible challenge for Maximus to try and win the race, definitely.
But we've got to factor in as well, with Axnes, he could have post-race penalties coming his way, possibly. I'm not going to put it out there. It will be underneath the stewards, though. That's what we've got to factor in as well. That's why we call it the official, unofficial result.
And I want to mention that Kiki has only 1 penalty. He's on his last warning of his second penalty, but having in mind that Hades has a 9 second time penalty, probably Kiki has a big chance to end on the podium.
Shall we run through the full grid actually in terms of penalties? Just see where everyone's at. I'll run with Hades though in the background.
Alright, we have Mashiro behind. Well, I told you he has 11 second time penalty. He hasn't picked up any penalty since then. Daniel has 5 second time penalty plus 3 and 3, that's 11 too. So Mate probably will pick up 2 positions as he has no penalties. Puzzles has 3 second time penalty and he has no warnings. Charlie has 1 penalty, I think. Yeah, and he has 2 warnings. Meanwhile, Atlas in 10th has no penalties at all, so solid race from him. And Bals Biking, he has only 1 penalty. We have Jeffrey that has 1 penalty and 1 warning. Conti 13th with 1 penalty and 1 warning, and Storm in 14th, that I think is the last driver that is not in AI. It has 2 warnings.
Here comes Jeffrey, right on the back of Max Viking, a bit of a late switch there down to the inside line. He was going to go around the outside. He's got the move done, and Passels and Mays side by side. Oh, Neely on the final lap. We're on the final lap. Where's this race gone? Axnes leads the way by 2.7 seconds for Maximus in second. Hades in third. Passels on the back of Mays. Jeffrey, by the way, getting that move done on Max Viking. Just to give a shout out, by the way, Conti on 24 lap all hard compounded tyres are still going round in 13th position. So well done to Conti out on track as well. And he's actually on the back of Max Viking, weirdly. He could get the move.
Yeah.
Could he get the move done?
I mean, I just remember that when I was racing in TTFL, you know, someone said, oh, you know, give a tire to Conti and he will take it as far as you want to, you know. And,
well,
24 laps.
He's taken it since lap 1. He's taken it since lap 1. Unbelievable.
Amazing stuff.
Axnes coming through still then for the final time, and it is the Alfa Romeo man out on track who is going to take the win. Maximus is gaining rapidly on him on this final lap. Axnes though has done enough. He's round the final corner to take the win here at Silverstone. Axnes wins, Maximus in second, but bear in mind the penalties could have a factor. Key has gone up to third, so Key up to third. Mashiro, I think, is going to drop down rather than up here. Mashiro across the line in fifth. Yeah, 5 second time penalty unserved has came up on the bottom. Daniil will stand behind him. I think Mace might jump.
Yeah, there we go, fifth. Amazing stuff.
And Passel's seventh.
From Mace. He qualified fifth and he finished fifth. Amazing race.
Perfect. Perfect race for him. Charlie across the line in ninth. Atlas Copo across the line in 10th, with Jeffrey catching him towards the line in 11th. Back to Viking and Conti quite close right at the end. They finished 12th and 13th, and TTG Storm, not his day at all for the championship leader. And the dent was really put in by Axnes out on track. And I'm sure the driving standards will be looked at. But it is, for now, Axnes who was taking the win out of Norwegian. Drove well for a majority of the race, didn't pick up any penalties, but that contact may come back to bite him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that contact, gave Maximus like the dream, and the power to go for the victory. But in the end, he had 3-second time penalty, and the time he lost behind Hades didn't get him the win, but it was an interesting race. I don't know if you agree, but I think this was the best race of the season.
It was action-packed, but I do not think it was the best race of the season. I'm going to hold it to Spain last week, I think, was the best race of the season so far. But it is that man Axnes who was taking it out on track. Maximus has finished second out on track from 13th. Yes, 1-3 on the grid. Fantastic drive. Key in third, Hades in fourth, Maze in fifth. He gets my drive of the day, Maze, out on track. Mashima in 6th, Passel 7th, Danilo in 8th, Charlie in 9th, Atlas Copo in 10th. Beautiful fastest lap, by the way, there by Atlas Copo, 31 flat. Jeffrey, Vax Viking, Conti, Storm, YWR, Storm and Billy not finishing either. Pariah, Tom and Lord Holton all DNFing out the race. Lord Holton didn't even make it through one lap at all. Unfortunate. But that is how racing goes sometimes out on track. And well, we are at the end of tonight's live stream for TTL F1 League 2. Paco, what has been your highlight of tonight?
I mean, there has been many highlights. First, before saying my highlight, I just wish that today we could give multiple driver of the days, because Maith did his best race so far. It was outstanding. He did an amazing job, but definitely the McLaren drivers, they had some issues at the start of the race, and they were able to come back, and actually make some good points for the team. And also Maximus starting that behind, and he was almost there to take the win. So probably having such comebacks, having such a constant drive from Maith, I think that's my highlight of today. I mean, good comebacks, really constant drive from the winner and Maith. So that's, I think, what we should highlight today.
Honestly, I think I've got to agree with you. The comebacks out on track, certainly from Key's point of view, and I think from Mashiro's point of view, the two McLarens drove such an astute race late on in that race, and they drove phenomenally well to come back. And how the race developed, it really played to their strengths and also to Maximus's strength as well. And also, in terms of penalties, to Maze's strength as well, who gets my drive of the day vote. Who was your drive of the day?
Oof,
and I have to push you for a name.
Well,
just the one.
You really catching me here. I mean, I'm gonna go, seriously, I think Maith did an amazing race, but I just have to go with Maximus. I mean, he just drove really well, when he didn't score any point. We have to keep that in mind. He was having the same season as Maith, but he was able to have a podium today, and I think he deserves it, because when you don't have a good quality and you start behind on the grid, definitely you don't start with that optimism, and he definitely drove really well. So sorry for Maith, but I'm going with Maximus as my driver of the day.
Maximus driver of the day, first point of the season for Mercedes as well.
Yeah.
And first point of the season for him, and puts him well up there within the standings as a result of what happened tonight. Well, that is it for tonight. TTL F1 League 2 over and done with, out on track tonight.
Yeah, it has been amazing. And next week, if I'm not mistaken, we are heading to what race is it?
We're going to Germany next week, I do believe.
Oh, hello.
Germany.
Ich bin von Spanien.
Ich bin ein Englishman. That's the extent that my German goes to. There's another phrase I know, but I'm not going to repeat it. No way. It's too. Yeah, let's just gloss over that. But it is Germany next week. Of course, if you have been inspired by your motorsporting action from tonight, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Of course, 421 subscribers, by the way, now. If we can get that to 450, share it out amongst your family and friends. That'd be fantastic. I'm asking nicely. that if we get up to 450, then it'll be fantastic. And I think all the efforts do go in. Sorry, what were you going to say, Paco?
No, that yes, after the stream I will go to my mother, and ask her to subscribe, to do my part of the work.
Exactly. Well, we're all in this together, as they say, with this coronavirus going about. So we're all in this together in terms of getting subscribers as well for the channel. Fantastic. But, of course, if you have been inspired by your motorsporting fix for tonight, we have got more to come for you tomorrow night, and it is Competitive Racing Club Tier 2. Hopefully you're going to be live streaming from 7:30 and then 8:30 if you want to catch me and Alan Cavey going to be taking you through, Alan Cavignon, I should say, taking you through at 8:30. GT3s, and I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I've got to get this correct, like I always do every week, I check to make sure what the calendar is and what track we're at. And tomorrow, which would have been Grand National Day here in Britain, it is Sugo in the wet. So another Japanese track, and it's Sugo in the wet, which I think should be quite a spectacle to see. And it's our only second wet race of the season as well for CRC. But that is it for tonight. All I've got to really say is thank you very much for tuning in. Of course, we wouldn't do it for ourselves, and I'm sure you guys appreciate the efforts that me and Paco put into the commentary, and also to the leagues that are ran on here on TTTV. And we're going to be seeing a lot, I think, of league racing coming forward in these coming weeks and months. And I reiterate, every single stream now, I reiterate right at the end, please stay home, protect your local service and your international health service, and save lives. That is the main message here tonight. But on that note, thank you very much for watching. I've been James Head. He's been Paco Suarez. Please take care of yourselves and look after each other. And we will see you next week for the German Grand Prix. Goodbye.
Hasta luego.